Under the intense spotlight of regional tensions, the recent mission aimed at taking control over Gaza turned into a massive strategic failure. And one of the defining reasons behind that was the unexpected deployment of Iran's Asymmetric missiles. To understand why these weapons played such a decisive role, we need to break down their technical edge, battlefield performance, and the way they reshaped calculations on the ground. For those who follow military developments, the story? just about another missile launch at about how one system redefined the outcome of a high-stakes operation, exposing vulnerabilities and rewriting strategic assumptions that many thought were settled. The whose name translates to thunder, is not just another addition to Iran's expanding missile arsenal. It embodies a philosophy of combining affordability, mobility, and raw firepower in a way that makes it extremely difficult for adversaries to counter. The missile is engineered with a medium-range profile, capable of striking targets from well within safe territory while hitting deep inside enemy lines. This range provides operators with the luxury of distance, giving them the ability to strike from locations far removed from frontline detection and interception systems. In modern warfare, where every second counts, having the ability to launch from hidden or hardened positions makes all the difference. The design of the Arad emphasizes both speed and stealth. Unlike traditional ballistic projectiles that follow a predictable arc, the air rod is reported to feature trajectory adjustment capabilities, making its flight path less predictable for missile defense systems like Iron Dome or David's Sling, which rely on algorithms to anticipate a missile's landing point. This unpredictability adds a dangerous variable. The interceptor has to calculate trajectories in fractions of a second, and when the incoming missile doesn't follow the expected curve, interception success rates drop dramatically. The AROD uses advanced guidance technology, rumored to incorporate both inertial navigation and GPSAD, giving it accuracy within a few meters of its target. That kind of precision transforms it from a weapon of general destruction into a surgical tool capable of disabling specific infrastructure like radar stations, command posts, or critical supply depots. Performance-wise, one of the standout aspects of the Arad is its launch versatility. It can be fired from mobile launchers, which can be hidden in rural areas, inside camouflaged hangars, or even beneath overpasses in civilian-like structures. Once launched, these mobile units can relocate within minutes, making it nearly impossible to neutralize them all. This shoot and scoot doctrine magnifies the survival rate of missile forces, ensuring that even under heavy counter-bombardment, more missiles can be fired at sustained intervals. This performance aspect becomes crucial when one considers that overwhelming missile barrages, rather than isolated launches, are what caused defense systems to collapse under sheer volume in the Gaza operation. This is exactly what happened. The sudden appearance of Arad barrages stretched defensive systems far beyond their designed capacity. Missile defense works best when the number of incoming threats is manageable, but when salvos come in coordinated waves from multiple launch points and at irregular trajectories, the odds of defense success plummet. As Israel's systems tried to keep up with wave after wave of launches, the gaps became visible. Critical military positions, air bases, and forward operating points suddenly found themselves under direct threat. The psychological effect was equally devastating. Troops, expecting dominance from the air, were suddenly pinned down, vulnerable to precision missile strikes. And forced into defensive maneuvers, the RRAD also benefits from a relatively low production cost compared to the massive investments required in interceptors. Each Iron Dome missile can cost tens of thousands of dollars, whereas an AROD can be produced at a fraction of that. This imbalance means that in an extended campaign, defenders burn through their resources at an unsustainable rate, while the attacker can keep launching without exhausting its arsenal. This economic asymmetry is one of the weapon's unique selling points that shifts the cost of defense disproportionately high, while keeping offensive capabilities affordable and scalable. Another design highlight of the Arad is its warhead versatility. It can carry high explosive payloads optimized for blast damage, fragmentation warheads for personnel and soft target destruction, or even penetrative warheads designed to damage bunkers and fortified command structures. This adaptability allows commanders to tailor their missile usage according to the operational objective. For example, during the failed takeover mission, warheads targeting radar installations effectively blinded parts of the defense grid, allowing subsequent salvos to bypass interception. Other warheads were aimed at logistical hubs, cutting supply chains and leaving forward units exposed without timely resupply. The missile's transport and deployment systems are equally innovative. Compact designs mean that ARRD launchers can be concealed within civilian traffic or parked inconspicuously under tarps. The mobility creates an element of uncertainty for surveillance drones and satellites, as identifying which truck or container is actually armed becomes a near impossible task in cluttered urban or rural environments. Once these mobile batteries are activated, they can deliver coordinated strikes within minutes, creating shockwaves across the battlefield. This concealment and rapid deployment ability is one of the features that makes the HD particularly effective in environments like Gaza, where urban density makes it difficult for opponents to detect threats before it's too late. When examining the failure of the Gaza mission, one can't ignore the strategic implications of the Arad-S deployment. For decades, military planners assumed that overwhelming air power and precision strikes would pave the way for successful ground operations. The use of missiles like Arad challenged this doctrine directly. It forced ground units to operate under the constant threat of long-range, accurate strikes, nullifying much of the advantage of having sophisticated aircraft and tanks. The terrain, once dominated by air superiority, suddenly became a battlefield where even heavily fortified positions could be destroyed with a single, successful hit. One of the reasons the ARRD is so significant lies in its psychological effect. Soldiers under threat of missile fire tend to disperse, hide, and prioritize survival over offensive momentum. Command structures slow down, logistics get disrupted, and morale takes a hit. In the Gaza mission, this effect was amplified by the fact that many positions were specifically targeted, sending a clear message that no location was safe. Even bases far from the immediate combat zone found themselves within reach of these missiles, changing the entire perception of safety and security among advancing forces for laymen unfamiliar with missile technology. Think of the AR-8 as the battlefield equivalent of a sniper rifle compared to a shotgun. Instead of simply firing in the general direction of the enemy, it homes in on specific weak points, ensuring maximum disruption with minimum effort. This makes it vastly different from older rockets that were used more as tools of intimidation rather than precision warfare. The ARRD is about changing outcomes rather than just creating noise. From a broader perspective, the ARRD represents a strategic equalizer. In a world where adversaries invest billions into advanced jets, drones, and defense systems, a relatively low-cost missile with precision capabilities can shift the balance dramatically. It undermines the assumption that expensive technology guarantees battlefield dominance. By leveraging accuracy, unpredictability, and cost-effectiveness, the ARA provides smaller forces with a way to punch far above their weight. This is exactly what unfolded during the attempted Gaza takeover, where a supposedly one-sided battle became an unexpected quagmire. The unique selling points of the AR are its accuracy, mobility, cost-effectiveness, and adaptability ensure that it will remain a thorn in the side of technologically superior forces for years to come. It's not just a weapon, but a statement of asymmetric warfare strategy, where brute force fails, smart engineering and tactical innovation prevail. For military observers, this event was a live demonstration of how the future of warfare will look. Decentralized, mobile, precision, and devastatingly efficient in eroding the advantages of traditional powerhouses